What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Are y'all praying for Will Smith? I literally just read an article about how he's checked into luxury rehab for stress. Luxury rehab for stress. I'm not the biggest expert on how it is that you're supposed to be able to move and handle stress. I love the red Corvette, would never rock with red. I love the yellow McLaren, would never rock with yellow, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Pretty. But if anything was to ever happen to Will Smith, and let me be very, very clear, I am very much a fan of Will Smith. Everybody would be sad. Everybody would be jumping off a bridge and all of that. Ooh, nice. Very, very nice. Are y'all praying for Will Smith? Y'all gotta understand that these people are human just like you and I. They put on their pants one leg at a time. They have problems, they have issues. They have people that work for them that create an environment where they can thrive and be successful. But remember that that's all business. Now, I'm not absolving Will of the environment that he created for himself, in which he has an unruly chick, and he walked up and slapped Chris Rock. Of course we should be accountable for our actions, but I don't think that we have enough empathy in society today. What we wind up finding ourselves doing is holding everybody accountable, but at the same time not to the standard that we would like to hold ourselves accountable. So we would like people to forgive us. We want people to rock with us. We want to be able to come back from the things that we've said that are egregious. I don't believe any of us have never not said something that was egregious, or if you had the spotlight on you or did something. Let's not even say something, did something. You did something in your life. You bullied somebody, you said something out of line, you got out of character, you lost your cool and your temper. I coach a lot of people. I see it all the time. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description. If you want personal coaching, make sure you tap in my website, AntonDaniels.com, and then we're going to get you scheduled. Email me from there. But we don't have enough empathy. You know, the thing that I pray on a regular basis is forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And if I'm to be forgiven according to how I forgive other people, now I'm not saying that you got to go over there and rock with him again. Listen, if Will Smith did something to you and he says something and you didn't like the way that it affected your great-grandmother or some crap like that, listen, you don't have to go and watch the movies or whatever. But at the same time, I'm always looking at the possibilities of what if. And I don't want to be sitting here making videos. Now, obviously, I don't believe that Will Smith is ever going to do anything to himself, or he just going to have a stroke or something like that. God forbid. I don't believe that that's going to happen. It's never out of the realm of possibility, though. And when you take that into consideration, you have to start being a little bit more sympathetic and have more empathy towards people in general. I don't know. I just do. And even if I didn't before, I reserve my right to grow and continue to be a better version of myself today than I was yesterday. I forgive everybody, even though he didn't necessarily do it to us. We're using Will as a talking point in order to illustrate how you should or shouldn't move, or to use his life, since it's so public, because he decided to grab the microphone, he decided to be visible, he gets very, very well rewarded for it, and you can't just be running up on stage and putting your hands on grown men. That looks bad. But are we gonna continue to just completely forget all of the great things that he did and a great role model and responsibility that he's held for so long, as far as championing and being visible of how it is that you conduct yourself in the public eye? So he has a couple slip, one slip, he messed up, you know what I'm saying, and he doesn't do the things that we think he should do it the right way. He is still human. He is still human. And so I think that the lesson that comes from us, in addition to the lesson that comes from him, or what we're learning from him, is how can we extend grace? Everybody wants grace. They just don't want to give it to everybody else because grace isn't fun. It's not fun to talk about forgiveness. It's not fun to talk about empathy. It's not fun to talk about, hey, what if, the possibility, so on and so forth. We just want to show love after they gone, or oh man, or whatever like that. You always more popular when you gone or when something happens to you than in the moment. And I like to give people their flowers right now. So in the same way that, you know, we hold them accountable and things like that, is the same way that I want to extend grace. And I think that Will deserves at least some level of grace, because good grief, if Will don't deserve grace for everything that he's done and the way that he's lived his life for this long, who is worthy of it? Who is worthy of some level of grace from society at large? And again, I am not absolving him of responsibility that comes along with his actions. For every action, there's a reaction. We know that. We've been holding Will accountable for a long time. We've called him every name in the book. We've called him a simp. We've called him a sucker. We've called him trash. We've called him irresponsible. We've called him, you name it, all of that. We've held Jada responsible and all of that. But what next? What's the solution? It kind of reminds me of when I see people talk about what's wrong with certain communities and all that other type of stuff, right? And then we'll have those conversations, but we'll never actually come to a conclusion or provide a solution. All we do is just talk about what the issues are and the problems, and we want acknowledgement. At what point do you start talking about solutions and that become a part of the conversation also? Or is it never supposed to become a part of a conversation because it's not popular to have? I just think that when you start to hear things like somebody is checking into rehab, although it is luxury rehab, right? Obviously, I don't believe that anything, again, is going to happen to Will Smith. I'm going to keep putting that out in the air because I don't want anything to ever happen to Will Smith. When you talk about somebody checking into luxury rehab, I think that that starts to become an issue, and that's a red flag. How do we move a little bit differently as far as making sure that we're not going overboard and bombarding somebody that's beyond, already beyond a certain point in their life? Or do we just automatically think that they're superhuman and they should be able to take it because they superstars and they're in the public light? I know me personally, I'm going to extend grace. I am going to continue to talk about it as far as using it as an example of how we should and shouldn't act, especially from content creators' perspective, because he is one of the biggest content creators, in addition to greatest movie stars of all time. So I think that there's plenty that we can learn and glean from him. And I think that he's going to continue to live his life in the public and in the being visible for everybody else. But I'd want grace given to me if I was in his situation. God forbid I ever walk up to somebody on stage when I'm receiving an Oscar. If I receive an Oscar, yeah, I'm shooting a movie. If I ever receive an Oscar, God forbid that I ever walk up on stage and slap somebody. But I'd want grace. You'd want grace. I'd want grace. We should extend grace. Yo, I'm praying for Will. I hope you send a prayer up if you are a person that likes to pray or believe in prayer, or you believe in the effectiveness of prayer. And then I'm going to go from there. Again, make sure you guys subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. I am out here enjoying the beautiful Miami weather. It is Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you tomorrow. Peace.